Alright, you've seen them at the pet store, at your friend's house, maybe in a plastic cup sitting on a desk next to a dead succulent in a ring light. They're colorful, they're mesmerizing, and they only cost like $5, and the label says they're low maintenance. But what if I told you this fish, the one people call starter friendly, is actually the most mistreated pet in the entire aquarium trade? This isn't just about fish, it's about how easy it is to sell suffering as something beautiful. This is the dark truth about betta fish. Let's start with this fish that somehow became the go-to gift for 8-year-olds and coworkers you barely know, the betta fish, also called the most tragically misunderstood creature in the aquarium trade. They're bright, flowy, dramatic, basically if Euphoria had gills. They're cheap too, just a few dollars. Toss in a bowl, sprinkle in some water conditioner, and boom, instant decor. Except it's not instant decor. It's a living animal that we've turned into a disposable accessory. They're one of the top-selling aquarium pets globally. Seriously, millions are sold every single year. And why? Because they're cheap, they're colorful, they look like tiny underwater supermodels. And every chain pet store sells them as the ultimate starter fish. Low maintenance, easy to care for, no stress, just add water, right? But here's the thing, they're not starter anything. They're incredibly good at not dying right away, but they're sold as low-effort pets when really they're high-survival pets. Which, plot twist, is not the same thing. So, before we talk about how they should be cared for, let's talk about how they're treated now, because once you see the pipeline, you can't unsee it. And I think the best place to start is where they come from. Most betta fish are mass-produced in giant fish farms overseas, mostly in Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia. We're talking huge-scale operations where bettas are bred in bulk, sorted like inventory, and packed up and shipped out all around the world. And when they're shipped, they're placed in tiny plastic bags with barely enough water to turn around. No food, no filtration, no heat, just a long, dark ride through the global supply chain. Some of them spend up to 7 days in transit and then bam, straight into a plastic cup. Welcome to retail. But unfortunately, it gets worse. These fish have been bred, not for health, not for survival, but for looks. Big fins, bright colors, the kind of drama you'd expect from a drag show underwater. And while they are stunning, all those exaggerated features come with a price. Overbreeding has led to some wild genetic issues, like chronic bloating, fin rot, spinal deformities, swim bladder disorder. I mean, we're talking that some of them literally can't swim properly because their tails are so heavy. I mean, imagine looking amazing but not being able to move. That's the life of a showbred betta. So yeah, they're sold as durable and low maintenance, but in reality, these fish are being mass-produced, over-designed, and treated like living decorations. They're not resilient. They're overbred and they need a lot more care than the industry says about them. Okay, deep breath, because now we gotta talk about the lie. The one line that has ruined more betta fish lives than anything else. Quote, they like small bowls, unquote. Nope, that's what my grandma says about herself. But all jokes aside, this myth is everywhere. Your friend believes it, that pet store employee might have said it, you might have believed it once too, and honestly, not your fault. That lie has been repeated so many times it's basically on the packaging. So let's be real. Betta fish are tropical animals. They need warm water, like heater level warm. They need filtration. They need space. They evolved in shallow rice paddies and slow streams, but even that had miles of space and layers of biodiversity. It wasn't a mason jar on a windowsill. The reason they can live in a bowl is because they've got a special organ that lets them breathe air from the surface. It's called a labyrinth organ, which sounds really cool, but then you realize it's the only reason they're still alive in these terrible conditions. They're not thriving, they're just not dead yet. And the difference between those two things, massive. Here's what the data says. Bettas kept in small bowls actually live 1 to 2 years, tops. Put them in a proper setup though, a heated filtered tank, at least 5 gallons, and suddenly they're living for 4, 5, or even longer. They build bubble nests, they recognize their owners, they get curious, they're playful. You see a personality emerge that doesn't exist in a cup. But people don't see that version because the bowl lie is easier, it's cheaper, it's more profitable. Stores make more money selling a cute little tank kit than they do educating buyers on real care. And honestly, That's how the cycle keeps going. So no, bettas don't like small bowls, they just survive in them. And surviving isn't the same as living. Not for you, not for them. So here's where things go from frustrating to straight up dark. It's because the pretty packaging and colorful marketing fade into something a lot less Instagrammable. Major retailers and chain pet stores are the biggest players in the betta fish game. You've seen it, rows upon rows of these tiny plastic cups, each holding a fish barely big enough to make a splash. No heaters, no filters, water that's often brownish from ammonia and days of neglect, and somehow, despite the fish, looking like they just survived a small apocalypse, those cups get restocked like it's Black Friday every day. Here's the sad kicker. These companies know exactly what they're doing. It's not ignorance, it's business. Multiple exposés and undercover investigations, including reports from PETA and other animal welfare organizations, have pulled back that curtain on these stores' practices. Sick fish, dead fish, ammonia burns, stuff that would make any normal human cringe is basically just part of the daily routine behind the scenes. And from a marketing standpoint, bettas are the perfect product. They're cheap to buy, cheap to stock, and easy to sell with minimal overhead. They're the starter fish in name only, but that label is a massive lie that keeps the whole system turning. The narrative goes, betta fish are easy, they're low maintenance, and they're cute. And the worst thing about it is the type of tanks that are marketed to the consumer, usually under 5 gallons, and I've seen one at just 1 gallon. There are various theme style tanks that are clearly marketed to parents and kids. And spoiler alert, they're usually not that good. But you know what? Now for some good news. And no, you don't suddenly become Batman or Wonder Woman. No cape, no secret lair, just you and a little bit of care. Because here's the deal. You actually have the power to break this whole miserable cycle of betta fish suffering. Yeah, you. So let's get into how. First things first, stop impulse buying. I get it. You're scrolling through the pet store aisle, you see that $5 betta flashing its fins like a little aquatic disco ball, and you're like, oh hell yeah, I want that. But here's the kicker. That $5 fish, it's not just a flashy accessory or an easy desk buddy. It's a living, breathing creature with real needs. And if you don't have the time, space, money, or patience to set it up with at least a 5-gallon tank, proper heating and filtration, just don't get one. Seriously. No shade. Well, actually kind of shade. But if you can't commit, you're just signing up for heartbreak for you and for the fish. Remember, bettas can live years if treated right, but in cramped bowls, they're basically on a countdown to tragedy. But that's just the first step. Step 2 is to seek out ethical breeders and rescues, and yes, those do exist. There are people out there who actually care about breeding bettas for health and longevity, not just giant tail flares and over-the-top colors. These breeders put in the work to avoid genetic defects and provide healthier, happier fish. Buying from these sources means you're actively pushing back against factory farm style mass breeding, where these fish are churned out like fast fashion and shipped halfway across the world in tiny bags with zero care. And that might sound extra, but it's 100% true. So here's a few suggestions when looking for ethical betta breeders. That's right, you don't even have to go do the research. We're gonna do it for you right here. Okay, maybe do a little research, but Frank's Bettas, Akahuna, KG Tropicals, if they ever go back to selling them, P&W Bettas, splashy fish, and local ads from local breeders are a great place to check. But third step here, educate yourself. And you know what? Educate your circle too. The bull myth, still alive and well, but it's on borrowed time if enough people start pushing back. Post facts on your social. Share your own proper tank setups. Gently correct your friend who insists betta fish only need a bowl. Start conversations about why animal welfare matters for fish too. The more people who know, the less chance any betta ends up in a plastic prison. Knowledge spreads faster than TikTok trends, so use that power. And this whole issue isn't just a pet hobby problem, it's a moral problem. It's about whether we're willing to accept suffering just because it's convenient or cheap or makes us a ton of money. When enough people start treating bettas and all fish not as disposable decorations, but as living, feeling creatures who deserve care and respect, that's when the real change happens. And trust me, those tiny, vibrant fish, they deserve that fight. They deserve you. So real quick, let's talk about the ideal betta setup. The one that's not just functional, but actually looks good and keeps your fish happy. Because your sweet little betta, that little fella deserves more than just a cramped bowl with plastic plants and a bubbling castle. Start with a 5 to 10 gallon tank, no less. That's the sweet spot. Big enough for stable water parameters and plenty of swimming space, but still compact and manageable for most setups. bettas need a little room to explore, and they'll thank you for it with better health and way more personality. Now, let's go natural. That means live plants and not just for looks. What you want here is some nutrient-soaking champions like Amazon frogbit, redfoot floaters, Balasinaria, Java fern, and water sprite. These little bad boys will help absorb excess nutrients, reduce your algae, and provide shade and surface cover just like their natural habitat. Add some background plants like water wisteria or hygrophila to build out that lush jungle vibe. Bonus points if you throw in leaf litter or Indian almond leaves for tannins and stress reduction. Do it. Go ahead with your bad self. And as for filtration, go ahead and just skip the bulky sponge filter. We're going sleek and efficient. Something like the mighty aquarium filter from Buse Plant is perfect. It's got a slim profile, got adjustable gentle flow, and blends right into the background. Bettas don't like strong currents, so go low and slow in the flow settings. And then to cap it off, you got soft sand or fine gravel substrate, and then you got a tank that's not just betta safe, but betta perfecto. Clean, calm, and thriving with natural beauty. That little betta fish isn't just a decoration or a cheap impulse buy, it's a living creature, and it's been trapped in a cycle of neglect and misinformation galore. But now that you know the truth, you've got a choice. Keep feeding the same system that profits from suffering, or be the reason that it changes. If you care even a little bit, don't buy bettas in tiny cups. Support ethical breeders or rescues and give these fish the space and care they deserve. Do us a favor, share this video and spread the word, because change starts with knowledge, and knowledge is right here and in your head and your brain, and share it around. Anyways, remember, real care means real commitment. Stop mistaking surviving for thriving. Thanks for watching. Now, go make a difference, one take at a time.